Hey out there Akronites, welcome once again to Around Akron with Blue Green. Now this episode's all about family fun, education, and culture in downtown Akron. On this episode, we're going to visit the Akron-Summit County Public Library and all the amazing things it has to offer. We're going to visit Lock 3. Now, if you haven't seen this place, you're missing out on something extremely special. And to wrap this show up, we're going to visit the Akron Zoo. Now, it has something for kids of all ages. Now, to kick this show off today, we're here in downtown Akron to talk to a Night Arts Challenge winner for the Curated Storefront project. Now, essentially what they've done is it created an art gallery in the empty spaces in downtown Akron for your viewing pleasure. Let's go see what this project is all about.
I guess the point is to take length of Main Street. We got about a mile between Cedar and Market where we are right now, and basically turn it entirely into a walking gallery that is in the storefronts. You wouldn't go inside, but you'd observe it from the streets. The Night Arts Challenge grant process, part of the Knight Foundation, and Akron is a Knight Foundation city. The Knight brothers started the Beacon Journal here, and they were really the founding of the whole Knight organization came out of Akron. And they came to Akron and asked anybody that had an idea to apply. All you had to do was produce a grant request that was 150 words or less, and they reviewed 500 of these things in their first round and sorted it down to about 27 finalists, and then they asked for a more in-depth description from each one of the grantees, and then that group was narrowed down to even further. So my project was the Curated Storefront, and I had memories when I was a kid of walking on Main Street with my parents. The department stores like O'Neill's and Polsky's were alive and vibrant, and there was a lot of attraction to Main Street in downtown. There was commercial establishments up and down Main Street. You came down here to the theater. It was kind of the hub of Akron. And my thoughts were, well, if we can plug art in and make the streets look more interesting, the city's going to be more interesting ultimately, and we're going to attract more commercial development to the downtown area. We have had some success in that regard. We had the space at the corner of High and Market Street, which we programmed early on. Dana Depew put some neon work in there, and after about 6 months, that space, which had been empty for almost 8 years, was rented. We did a similar thing at the Sojourner Truth building on High Street, and it's now been sold. This building, the United building, is going to be turned into a hotel.
I work with the artists, and I talk to some of the building owners, and I make sure that we are saying what we are planning on doing. So we're going into the storefronts and installing engaging artwork in the vacant, underutilized spaces. And so I'm working with artists to help them sometimes come up with concepts or figure out what they can do in what spaces. Since I have the information of what spaces are available downtown, and then I know what artists are interested in, what artists that we've had conversations with, I can match those two in figuring out what artwork would look best in what locations and how those logistics work. And so each space is different. Some might not have been used for 5 to 10 years. Some may have had a business that just left and it's in a transition period. And so since the project is so temporary, sometimes the storefront owners or the building owners have different needs that they have. And then the artists have different needs, whether they need electric or they need lighting, or they have artwork that would look better in a smaller space as opposed to a bigger space, or if an artist does an installation work and they want to do something in particular, that's information that I collect from all the different sources and bring that together to make sure that the artwork looks good in the space. So downtown has certain spots where there are a lot of things happening, but there's some vacant space in between. And so if you're walking downtown before the space is being filled in with lighter and brighter and more colorful, then your brain gets bored and you feel like you're walking a lot longer in time when actually it might be just 2 or 3 minutes. But when you're walking and you have more things to look at and you have more activity in your mind because you have the stimulus, it makes you feel like you're having a pleasant experience and you aren't as bored. And so it helps draw people further and further down and makes them want to walk even more. Whereas before, you would get to a certain point and you would want to stop, like, oh, there's nothing else past this, or it feels so much further. And so for that reason, it's really good to have these connecting links in these vacant spaces where it otherwise would be dark.
It pops at nighttime because we've got a lot of things lit up. During the daytime, you've got sunlight that kind of mutes a lot of the well, you can see from the background here these paintings, but it mutes the paintings, and so it's a little more exciting at night. We have one installation down between Cedar and Exchange Street that is an artist applied different colors of tape to the windows, and they're backlit. So that's a lot more exciting at night. So it's a different experience during the day and the night. It's also different walking versus driving. You can certainly see things driving, but I would really recommend getting out of the car and walking down along the streets.
Next up is the Akron-Summit County Public Library. Now, if you haven't been to the library in a while, you need to check this place out. Let's go see what this place is all about.
Every day we have kids who cry when they have to leave because they do not want to leave. We have play areas here as well. It's not just books. So for the young children, we have a kitchen area, we have a puppet theater, and we have blocks and a nature zone. So there's a lot of things to experience at the library. And most of those things are at the branches as well. And of course, story times. I've been here a long time. I just had a mom come and tell me that she remembered doing Farmer in the Dell 30 years ago when she was a 5-year-old at the Ellick Branch, and now she was bringing her daughter.
Our Akron-Summit County Public Library system was founded in 1874, and since then has grown to include our main library in downtown Akron and 18 branches in the city of Akron and around the county of Summit. Our newest branch is located in the Tri-County Plaza and is our Springfield Lakemore branch. It's located in Lakemore Village, which is surrounded by Springfield Township.
If you haven't been in a library lately, there's a lot of surprises now in libraries. We're doing a lot of different things. Not only are we doing big programming, which is one thing that we specialize in here at Main Library because we have so much space available, but we also have special collections, special types of things that you can get now at the library. We've just opened a collection of art that is available from the Art Museum that is circulating through our library. We have STEM kits that are available for teachers, homeschoolers, and student teachers. We have a cake pan collection that we circulate, so you can put a request in for a particular cake pan. The pictures are all on our website, on our catalog, and you can see what we've got and put in a request for a special cake pan. And we have a seed library here, which will be really, we have seeds in the seed catalogs right now, but they'll really be kicking off here soon as gardening starts. That's on our Science and Technology division, which is on the first floor at Main Library. And we also have some of those in the branch locations. You should call your branch and find out if they have one. So on our first floor, which is most easily accessible through our Main Street doors, it's where you come in from if you're coming into on Main Street. That's where our maker's space is. our tech zone and our computers, all of our patron use computers, as well as our science and technology division, which has books on science and technology. That's where you're going to find all the books about animals, cookbooks. We also have on our first floor the Micro Business Center, which is a space that we use to get entrepreneurs get started in the business world. We connect them with a lot of resources in the Akron area, a lot of mentoring with other successful businesses and successful individuals in business. So they can kind of get a foot in the door. We'll help them do their business plan, connect them with all kinds of resources that are in the community, and maybe any grants or other avenues they should be pursuing.
Public libraries really do serve communities from cradle to grave. And one of the exciting things about our service to very young children is that the public library children's section is often one of the very first places where children are allowed to make decisions on their own. They get to choose the books that they want to check out, the books that they want to look at while they're visiting the library. And that's such an important milestone. I've seen lots and lots of children literally jumping up and down with excitement because they were waiting for their library card, their first library card, to be prepared for them. So we start with the very young, with baby times, toddler times, preschool story times, and we go all the way up through school age, teenage, college, adult, and senior citizen categories of adults, and we really do have something for everyone. I know it's been very rewarding for some of our staff to help some of our older users who have children and grandchildren in far-flung places set up an email account and perhaps even a Facebook account so that they can look at pictures of family who live too far away for frequent visits. That's a very rewarding part of what we do. Another rewarding part of what our staff does is helping folks with writing resumes and doing research on companies before an interview. And it's extremely fulfilling when those folks come back and say, "I got the job and you were a big part of that."
I think Akron's a vital city, and it's very active, it's very interconnected. So the social agencies and the schools and Summit Education Initiative and the libraries, we're all working very closely together for the education of our children, the literacy in our community, and for the economic well-being. And it's so exciting to hear there might be some apartments that will be opening up in a year and a half. There will be 1,500 more apartment units downtown Akron, so that is going to really affect our downtown library as well, I think. So I think we're living in a really exciting time in Akron, and I've been at Akron Main Library for 18 years, and so we've seen it sort of, at a low point, but I think it's really rising at this point. I love Akron.
Next up is Lock 3. Now this place has all kinds of activities going on year-round. Now if you don't know what a lock is, and you don't know what Lock 3 is, you need to check this place out. Let's go see what Lock 3 is all about.
Our name is so unique to this area. When you have people come from not in this area, or if you try to explain what Lock 3 is, they're confused. But the lock was actually designed to help the canal boats make it up and down. Our topography here in Akron is crazy. So right here alone is the majority of the locks. So you can get from Lock 1, which is just down past the stadium, to Lock 17, which is just past the Mustill store a little bit down that way. So that shows that all the locks are in this area. So they would bring the boats in, close the doors basically, fill it up, raise the boat up, or drop the boat down. Lock 3 was the American Toy Marble Factory. When they did the excavation here, when they tore it down, because originally, not originally, but probably 30 years ago, you would have seen just more brick buildings lining the street. So when the city tore those down in the early 2000s, when they were excavating things, they found the original clay marbles. And the myth is, if you go out here and dig up in our ground right now, you'll find all kinds of toys and things like that. So, but it's actually a reality because it did happen. So they did come in and they brought in some great people that dug up some things and found out that, yeah, Akron, we had the marbles, we had the toy museum, you know, things like that. So we're still embracing that with the Children's Museum by the kids and the fun things. And that's why we're really into doing the yard games, is to embrace those, the roots of Akron's history. You know, it was also children, and it was also, you know, different toy factories and different things. Other than, you know, the Rubber City, there was also these other factories that were right here on the canal, because it was such an easy access point to, you know, distribute their products. So families, you know, to me, we're one of the hot spots right now for families, or we should be on your mark if you have children to bring. You know, our festivals, our music is all family-friendly designed. You know, we strive hard to make sure that is. And again, the price, what we spoke about earlier was great. But we're also accessible, and we're, you know, it's grass and it's that. So it's not, you know, you're not going to a concrete area. We have grass that you can bring your kids. You can let your kids, you know, we're not taking kids as baseballs or footballs away. So come down, bring your kids down in the summer to let them enjoy just being outside. You know, we have the Akron Children's Museum on location now that's been there 2 years. So, you know, look them up if you got some interest, because they're a great place and they're growing. And then in the winter, Winterfest is so unique. People want what Akron has in Winterfest, and that's something that as Akron, we need to keep, you know, being proud of is our Winterfest program. There is no place like this. When I was a kid, you know, we didn't have this ice skating rink down here. You know, our skates are cheap. We offered free skating lessons this year to people who didn't know how to skate. We gave you free skating lessons for 4 Sundays out of the year there. That come down, come skate. Again, it's a safe environment. I know people worry about that, but Akron is truly safe, and you know, there's statistics out there that can show that for people. You know, I don't like to get into that because I'm not too worried about it, but it is a great environment. Again, you can park right there in the parking deck, and you don't even have to step onto an Akron street if you don't want to. That's your missing in my book, but you know, go enjoy what we have. But you know, there's great restaurants. We have the peanut shop across the street, so there's nothing better than taking, you know, I have a 5-year-old son that we love to go to the peanut shop with. You know, he goes in there, it's old time, old school, you know, it's teaching him things. And I think that's what Lock 3 is for us, is teaching people about Akron. Like, that's what we want to show off, is this is us just kind of the welcoming center, opening it up to downtown is what we want to be. For me, it's so humbling to get to come down here to work every day, like to see and to be part, you know, of what Akron is doing. It's just an exciting thing. Like I said earlier, is, you know, Akron has this thing that people don't have, and we have this gem of a downtown that people want in big cities. They want to go to New York and have these big things, but you can have that here in Akron and then go right out and have a small time area as well. So it's, you know, we have this great mixture that, you know, a lot of people just don't realize. So I think, you know, it looks like we're starting to get over that hump where it's like, wow, people want, you know, to do what we're doing here, and I think that's just so unique to us, and I'm just so blessed to be a part of that I'm getting to come to work in downtown Akron. From when I was a kid, you know, a lot of people didn't want to come to downtown Akron. You know, we had friends and family that were out of state that, you don't come to Akron, you don't do that, you don't come to that. Well, now they come down here and they follow us on social media. We have, you know, we take zip codes from all over the country in the winter just to see where people are coming from. And they're coming to visit Akron because we're offering such a unique experience in downtown that in my opinion, you're not going to find anywhere else. Like, it's accessible, it's friendly, it's welcoming, and it's unique. Like what we have in artists and social life and social aspects. Like, I don't think you can go up to Cleveland and find it, and that's my opinion, but I think you can find it here in Akron, of just that homey feeling that, man, we want people, we want you to come here, and we want our people to stay, and we want our people to come back, and I think that people are starting to realize, you know, what Akron has and what we're going to be growing with, and downtown is hopefully going to be taking off here in the next few years. That we're so busy that, you know, that everybody is, you know, trying to get in and not trying to get out or anything like that. So I'm excited to see what we have in the future.
Next up is the Akron Zoo. You can learn about animals, you can learn about conservation, and you can have a good time. Let's go see what this place is all about.
We're open 361 days a year. So you can come and visit us, except the only 4 days out of the year that we're not open is Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and New Year's Day. We still have to come to work, but the public doesn't come to the zoo those days. Otherwise, we're open. We have winter hours and summer hours, so we shorten the winter season hours a little bit because of the darkness. But yeah, if it's a semi-decent sunny day in March and you want to come out to the zoo and walk around, we'll be here. The zoo started actually, Richard Barnhart, who worked at the city of Akron. He had this dream back in the 1950s that he wanted to start a natural history museum. And prior to that, the land that the zoo sits on was donated to the city of Akron by the Perkins family. And the stipulation of that was that the land had to be used for the enjoyment of children. So whatever was going to happen here, whatever the city was going to do here, it had to be something that it would engage children and children would be able to benefit from it. So Mr. Barnhart decided that he would like to have a children's museum. And so in the early 50s, I think actually 1950, he opened a natural history museum. And it was very well received. And so then he started to dream of adding a zoo to the Natural History Museum. And so in 1953, he opened the Akron Children's Zoo, and at that time it was managed by the city of Akron. And there were 12 exhibits, and they were very indicative of the time. They were Mother Goose rhymed themed exhibits, so they had 3 little pigs and the old woman in her shoe, which had guinea pigs in it. So it was very indicative of the time. And then from there, it just continued to grow and change. And in the late 70s, early 80s, the zoo became a private nonprofit organization governed by a board of directors. And so the zoo sits on city property, but it's managed by a nonprofit board. The Akron Zoo is very involved in conservation. We have about 18 to 20 field conservation projects that we're support every year. And so our director of animal operations, he will go to Florida as part of a coral reef project to try to restore the coral reefs. Our zoo veterinarian, she's been to India working with the white-winged wood duck to try to help that wild population. So we're doing a lot of field work. We're supporting organizations that have biologists and scientists in the field. Basically, in the last, we'll say 5 years, some of the things that we've added to the zoo is the conservation carousel. And it's really beautiful. It's carved out of wood. It's pretty much a moving work of art. And so you can take a ride on the carousel. We opened Grizzly Ridge. It's now 5 years old, so you can come out and visit grizzly bears, see red wolves, coyotes, river otters, which are always active and fun. And so it's just a really neat experience with North American animals. And of course, the animal exhibits were designed so that you could get up close and really get nose to nose with the animals. If it's a nice warm summer day, the grizzly bears love to be in their swimming pool, and that's very much fun to watch them in their pool splashing around and playing with each other and having a good time. So the other thing that's just beautiful in the summertime is our Lehner Family Zoo Gardens. So if you're a plant enthusiast and you really like plants, then it's great to come out and walk through the gardens. The fountains are on, and there's just such a wide variety. There's over 7,000 native plants. Also, if you're a photographer and you like to take pictures, either amateur or professional, it's a great place to come out and take pictures. I think it's an exciting time. I think there's a lot of great organizations in and around Akron and throughout Summit County, really, that are supporting the residents who live here and trying to create this great environment in which to be here as a professional, as a young professional, as well as to be here to raise your family. We have some great, we have a great park system. The Summit County Metro Parks is a great park system. We have the zoo, the art museum, Stan Hewitt. So there's a lot of cultural attractions and things to add to your quality of life and make life more interesting, and give you opportunities to experience things that you may not otherwise have the opportunity to experience if you live somewhere else. So I think there's a lot being done in and around Akron just to make life a little more rich, a little more enriching and engaging. And if people take advantage of those opportunities, I think they can have just a lot of wonderful experiences with family, with friends, and really have an enriched life.
Thank you for watching yet another episode of Around Akron with Blue Green. Now, if you have an idea for a segment or you just want to say hey, you can reach out on the website at www.aroundakronwithbluegreen, or you can reach me on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We'll see you next time on Around Akron with Blue Green.